What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download their app. Be sure to use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I am Matt Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guys, Big Dave, BAWL Sports, Will, the GOAT, the perfectly coiffed Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb on Twitter.
Adults.
Our pal and producer Joey Spath is rocking the controls. Follow that man too. You can also call him Joey 1K for realsies now. He is at Joey Spathis. We are CHGO_Bulls. Ladies and gentlemen, Bulls Nation everywhere. All comes down to this. Bulls,
All comes down
Raptors
to this.
in Toronto. DeMar's old team, win or your season is over. 9 versus 10 in the NBA play-in tournament.
Damn right it is.
Who is stoked? This
Right here,
guy.
baby.
I'm stoked too.
Who's not happy for postseason basketball?
I'm nervous as hell, but I'm stoked.
Let's do this, man. Like,
I'm
start
nervous
the
they might
game.
accidentally win this game.
I want to see that. Well, that makes one of you. Actually, it makes a lot of you. But I'm ready to see this game. I want victories. I want to win. I want to go out there and beat Toronto on their home floor, in front of their home crowd, in front of Drake and the rest of the crew. I'm just excited to watch this game, man. Like,
Forgot
I think it's
about
gonna
the
be a
Drake
really good
factor.
game. Yeah, it's gonna be a good game, man.
Almost makes me want to beat them tonight.
Almost.
Almost. Gentlemen, we spent a good deal of our show yesterday talking about matchups in this game. Billy Donovan, Nick Nurse, what are they going to do? Would Billy try to counter some of the size and length of this Raptors roster? The Bulls just officially tweeted their starting lineup for tonight just a minute before we went live. Patrick Beverley, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso at the 4, not Patrick Williams, and Vooch at the 5. I don't think we're necessarily surprised by this based on what we have heard from Billy Donovan since they knew this was the matchup. He talked about it's a possibility. He also said regardless of who's starting, everybody's playing. Pat's going to play. He'll play a fair amount. But as we mentioned on yesterday's show, that 5-man unit with Beverly, with Caruso in there since Beverly's arrival, by far the best as far as net rating is concerned unit of 5 guys on this Bulls team and one of the better ones in the league.
It's your best option. You know what I'm saying? Like, Will has written and talked about extensively about Caruso being on the all-defensive team and giving him votes for Defensive Player of the Year. So why would you put that on the bench if that's the case? So you put your best out there, you start them, and you go with it. And you see how, you play it out. You see how it feels, see how it's going. There are certain things that you can do with that lineup as far as getting steals, getting deflections, and getting out in transition that Patrick Beverly is good at and that Caruso is definitely good at. And there's other things that, hinder you, like size, like height, like rebounding, that, Toronto and the Velociraptors will definitely be trying to do. So, yeah, it's an advantage on both sides. It's a disadvantage on both sides, and I think that's what's going to make this game so tight.
I think you got to play your best players. I've kind of been saying that since the beginning.
Hold on, Will. I'm having some issues with your mic. I think may have unplugged it.
Goat Mike?
Go, Mike. Uh-oh.
Hold up.
That's what you get when you let Matt Peck handle the microphones.
All I did was move the
Wait,
chairs
try
on the
again.
set.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. What was I saying?
So you start your best
gotta play your
players.
best players.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this since the conversation was Javante or Patrick in preseason. And I think the addition of Patrick Beverly and the decision to move Caruso into the starting lineup gets your 5 best players on the court. It pushes Patrick and Ayo into a bench role that I think fits their skill set at this point in their careers
Right.
a little bit better. And I think you have a more complete defensive unit. You have more veteran awareness and understanding on the court. And if you're going to try to defend at a super high level in this kind of high leverage situation, you need to have guys that are not going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You need to have guys that know where they need to be. And we kind of hit on this before, but the play-in is super intense. I was watching these games last night. It's high leverage. I kind of forgot how much different that atmosphere is than the regular season. And I think you have to have guys out there that have been there and that have performed at a high level in that kind of atmosphere.
I mean, in a very real way, they have higher stakes than a playoff series best of 7, games 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. If we don't win this one, we can get the next one. Keep ourselves alive. Unless you are backs to the wall, already have 3 L's in the best of 7 series, it is higher stakes in these play-in games. You know, the 7-8s that we saw last night, the losers of those games will get one more chance, but these 9-10 games, the one we got for Bulls Raptors on deck, the Pelicans and Thunder later tonight, it's do or die. It is literally do or die. I love how we do have a great dichotomy of Bulls fans and where they are right now in the comments. Jacob saying, I'm stoked. Let's effing go. Bulls. Drewish. Immediately next comment under Jacob. Put me out of my misery already. It's like us. You know, like I honestly, I do think that this is a winnable game for the Bulls. Yeah. We talked about the fact that the Raptors, like the Bulls, are not a very threatening three-point shooting team either. They do have guys who can get hot, like the Bulls do. Correct. But it's going to come down to, I think, the Bulls limiting turnovers when they face those early and often traps and double teams right as they bring the ball past half court. How well do they pass out of those? And how well can the role players who aren't their primary ball handlers take advantage of those possible 2-on-1, 3-on-2 situations on the weak side of the floor? Oh, my God. The shirtless wonder is out for pregame.
He understands.
And he is fully shirtless.
He is fully wondered
out there. Oh, my gosh. Listen, shorts on.
No shirt. That kind of day. Smoke, like what you call it, a heater? Is that what you call it?
Heater.
Smoking the heater. And I like how he's got the chair pointed directly at us.
Oh, yeah.
This time. Before he would turn it the other way. Now he wants all the love and credit that we've been giving him on the show.
He's got some shades. Maybe he's got shady rays on.
He got shades on? Oh shit. Damn, he do got shades on.
Sun's bright out there.
Yep, gold chain gleaming. I see it.
Will and I doing his thing. Sitting out on our balcony before pregame, man. You missed it.
Did not take my shirt off.
I'm actually surprised. Actually pretty surprised by that.
What were we saying?
The wonder does that.
Bulls need to limit turnovers. The Raptors crushed the Bulls in points off turnovers in the two losses the Bulls took at the hands of the Raptors this season. And to supplement that, if the Bulls really want to give themselves the best chance tonight, can they create their own easy points in transition if they can create some steals, whether it's Caruso, whether it's Beverly, who else, to get their offense going a little bit and try and get some of those easy points too.
And that's the other reason why I think Caruso makes a little bit more sense in today's starting lineup. It's going to be really difficult to have to go into the rat trap that is the half-court defense against the Raptors all night. If you can generate some steals and get out in transition and just break up those half-court possessions, it's going to take such a burden off of DeMar, who's going to be facing double teams, box and one, triangle and two, zone, all of it. Nick Nurse is going to throw everything at him. If they can just find a way to generate some easy layups throughout the course of a game, I really think that will take so much pressure off, not only from like adding points on the board kind of thing, but just to like get the Raptors out of their flow on defense. I think that's going to be really important.
Yeah, another thing you want to go with is experience at the same time. Alex Caruso being a champion, being in this kind of situation, you want to go with him in a do or die situation. He's been in those. So you go with who you trust in this scenario. And also you got a guy who can play the 1 through 4. So that also gives you options. If he's staying out of foul trouble, it gives you those kind of options of he can play any of those positions on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball, obviously. So, yeah, it just gives you more options, and he can help so much, but he's got to stay out of foul trouble because I guarantee you they'll be attacking him early.
That's a good point, and I think the other note on that I have is I think Caruso plays 24 minutes a game this year, right? You kind of have to, like, save him a little bit and manage his minutes because he's got the foot thing, because he's susceptible to injury. This game is Game 7. Right. You leave it all out there because you don't know if you're playing tomorrow. Yep. So I think you kind of let him out there. You let him play as much as he possibly can. Foul trouble is going to be big, but you need your best players out there as long as you can have them.
Meanwhile, Raptors have also announced their starting lineup. No surprises there either. Van Vliet, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl at center. God, there's so much freaking length in that lineup. It's disgusting. We got more Bulls fans that are hyped in the comments. Jeff saying, I'm hyped. Cameron saying, Meathead hours in full effect. Bulls Nation isn't ready to go home yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Talk to him, Cam.
Troy saying, late, but I'm here. Hey, guys. In the car yet, Matt? Which car?
No. The door's closed. We gone. We out, man. We out.
I'm looking forward to the van.
He's looking at that. He's right. He's waiting on the van to come, man. But the car is gone. Trust me. It's out of there.
Let's take a quick break to shout out our friends at DraftKings. Pick of the week for you guys. for tonight's other play-in game. And when we come back, we'll continue to break down tonight's game. We got some X-Factor players that we all picked who could help turn the tables for either team in this game tonight. And then we'll give y'all our final score predictions.
Predicciones.
Tonight's CHGO Bulls pregame brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. It's NBA playoff time, baby. That means big hoops action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NBA. Get in on the excitement of every game with the touch of a button. New customers can make a $5 pregame moneyline bet and score $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Plus, you got the no-sweat same-game parlays. Got one in for tonight. Our guy Cody from CHGO Bets and Cubs was telling us about that he's got in for tonight.
Cody's half naked, by the way.
Hey, man, respect the tank.
Respect the tank.
Respect the tank.
Tank topping him out here.
And, he looks like he should have been at Wrigley today.
Hey, man, tank top, you don't stop.
At our
He's
office.
tanking harder than the Bulls did this year.
Oh, that was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, because they
didn't tank.
Are you
'Cause
saying
they didn't.
They didn't tank, and Cody is tanking.
when they could have and maybe should have?
Difference is he's walking away with something. Guaranteed.
The yams.
Yeah, you're right. The Bulls are not guaranteed to walk with jack shit tonight.
But a win.
If you make a same game parlay for tonight's game and it doesn't hit, no worries, because you will get a bonus bet back up to $10. And there's too much emotion in my system riding on tonight's game to also bet on it. So for my pick of the week, I looked at Thunder and Pelicans, which will follow Bulls Raptors tonight.
Okay.
The West 9-10 game. I'm taking the over on total points scored at 226.5. We know that the Thunder are a lethal offense, top 5 offense in the NBA this season. The Pels can also score. They're about a middle-of-the-pack team. Yes. Neither team is elite defensively. No. Pels sort of at the back end of the top 10 in the NBA in defense. Thunder much further down that list. So I see a high-scoring game between those teams tonight. Taking the over -110 for over 226.5. Okay. I'm also flirting with the Thunder money line. We talked about this game a little bit on the end of yesterday's show. Plus 185 to ride with the Thunder on the road in New Orleans tonight. SGA. I just want to see that dude lead this young Thunder team to an unexpected victory. If you maybe aren't sure if they can pull it off and just want to go with the spread instead, Thunder getting plus 5.5 for -110 tonight. I like that too.
Yeah.
But if you want to boost your odds and be a bit of a daredevil, why not ride with OKC to go in and win that game tonight?
Why not?
So there's a few options for you for my DraftKings pick of the week.
Yeah.
Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up your DraftKings Sportsbook account.
Sexy.
All right, gentlemen. X factors in this game. Crucial game. Let's start by giving a shout out to our friend Mark, who joined us on yesterday's show.
Yeah.
Mark K. He went with somebody that we talked a little bit about yesterday, and that is Raptors starting center Jakob Poeltl. We know what he does on the defensive end as an interior rim protector, but he is lethal in those short roll situations as a part of this Raptors half-court offense. And I think if maybe early on Raptors shooters aren't getting their shot going, they're going to look to him to score inside.
Without a doubt, man. And we talked about it yesterday how good he's been, just against the Chicago Bulls, on whether he's been with the Spurs or whether he's been with Toronto, just how good he's been on both sides of the ball. Definitely, frustrating Vooch. It's not like he's a guy that's going to step out, and hit a jump shot on you. He's going to go inside and he's going to try to dominate you on both sides of the ball. That's really his game. And it's worked so far. So the counter is, what do the Bulls do? How does Vooch kind of neutralize that? How long will Jakob Poeltl play? Do we get him in foul trouble? In those kind of ways. But no, he's definitely going to be an issue, Will. Like they have to focus on him. He's
just a different dynamic that I think this Raptors team was really looking for when they were trying to play Precious Achiuwa or Chris Boucher and not really have that like sturdy anchor to their defense. Then you end up going with Siakam at the 5, and you try to get both Gary Trent and Van Vliet in the backcourt and just kind of put your 5 best players out there. With Poeltl, you have rim protection. It allows you to get out into this super scramble-heavy defense that they do, but still have the insurance back there to clean up the paint and protect the rim. I think he makes a world of difference for them and sort of solidifying the style of defense that they play. And then to your point, Matt, offensively, he's a good playmaker. I think he kind of has this reputation of having like brick hands and no touch. He's really good at finishing on his way to the basket. He is a good passer. And he's just going to collapse the defense because of how hard he dives. I think that makes it really difficult for the Bulls to wall off the paint and then also get out to shooters. So definitely a difficult matchup for them. And they lost the one game that he played in.
Yeah.
It's the one game he played in. It's true. And it wasn't really close, particularly. But, yeah.
The Bulls were up for, I would say, what was it, 2.5, 3 quarters of that, and then they just completely.
But you didn't believe it.
Completely collapsed.
You just saw it and you watched it and you just, well, at least I didn't. I'm just watching like.
And that's the other thing that's so great about Pirtle is like, if that style of play is working for you tonight, great. Nick Nurse can go to that. If it's not, then you go to the Siakam at the 5 thing that I mentioned, and you just have so much more lineup versatility with him in there.
On the other side of that, Cameron and our guy Daddy Fish also saying how important Vooch performing well for the Bulls is going to be tonight in that matchup of starting centers. Rob pointing out Vooch has struggled with Pirtle in that matchup in the past.
Without a doubt.
Meanwhile, Sung Hyun CO saying, I'm genuinely curious, Matt, would you be happier if we won or lost? Clearly you haven't been paying attention. I'm terrified that the Bulls might win this game tonight. I think they can, and I'm terrified. My mind almost wants to say that the Bulls are going to win this game because they know it will make me furious. My heart is all on board a Raptors win, convincingly so.
Like how it's all about Matt.
Obviously.
I love this very much.
Hello.
You're adorable.
Hello.
They didn't ask where you are with your emotions.
There's no reason to. I'm laying it out there, baby, right there on the line.
But so have I.
No. You might whip from off and go back and forth in the woozy and the wazzy because of how your feelings are. Like you said, you couldn't even bet how you wanted to because you're an emotional guy. So you don't know how it might go, Matt. You might be off of that couch into this. We don't know. We have no idea. So we're going to find out, man. So that's what they're asking.
All right, gentlemen. Towards our X Factor picks for this evening, Dave, you went with a guy who is often a goon, but could be the X Factor for you tonight.
Well, I went with him for the reasons we just talked about Jakob Poeltl. Like, you're going to have to neutralize him some kind of way.
Andre Drummond, by the way, if you're listening, I guess this won't be a podcast.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, Joey. So, I don't feel why you feel the need to do that shit, but, right on. But, yeah, you're going to need to neutralize him in some kind of way. And the person I think you're going to need to neutralize him with is Andre Drummond. So if Vooch is having that game where he can't stop him, and he can't really do anything with him.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Like anything, he can't do nothing with him. Then you're going to have to bring in Andre Drummond because he can do 2 things. One, he can actually give you that big body and that size, to go with Pirtle. But at the same time, he gives you that rebounder, gives you that defender inside, and he's got a little, he gets those steals as well. So it just depends, like I said, on which Drummond is showing up. Like, we have no idea. So that's why I think he's the X factor because the things that we talk about with the Bulls that they need for this game, the rebounding, the defensive intensity, that's what he brings. But he's the X factor because we don't know what Andre Drummond is showing up tonight. So hopefully it's the right one that we find out and we see. And that would make him
the
very
double-double plus a couple of steals off the bench in 12 minutes, Drummond?
Yeah, that dude. That's what
a
we're
useful
looking
guy.
for. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, yes. I don't know if you know this. That's very useful.
The tripping over his feet, trying a Euro step on the fast break, Drummond.
Between his legs spinning, you know what I'm saying?
We've also seen that one show
We've seen that. So it's very interesting, man. But I think that's why he's so important.
The other thing, I think that's a really good point. I think he's going to be a key player in the lineup tonight. I don't think we're going to see any small ball with Derek at the 5.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably for the best given the fact that the Raptors are so good and so dangerous offensive rebounding. Vooch is going to play 36 to 40 minutes, but he's not going to be out there for 8 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And during that time, that's an opportunity for the Raptors to just attack the glass. And if Drummond's in there, they're not going to be able to do that. So I think he's going to be really important as just, at the very least, like a stopgap. You're not getting any offensive rebounds while I'm out here kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Will, you went with, I think, a name that a lot of Bulls fans are hoping has a big game tonight, especially if Nurse does insist upon absolutely hounding DeMar DeRozan.
Exactly. The game plan is going to be get the ball out of DeMar DeRozan's hands by any means necessary. And if you're going to throw 2 at DeMar, then Zach's going to have to go off.
Yeah.
He did. The last time they played, I think he had 30. And Ricky and Jason were talking about this on their podcast Considerations,
Shout out
which
to
is
those
always
guys.
a great one. Zach has never really been in a big game and had a signature huge game. And I think this is an opportunity for him to do that,
great point.
especially with all the attention DeMar's going to get. I want to see 30 plus from Zach, and I want him to have a couple of like really key clutch shots down the stretch that that kind of secure a win.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a way in which I would make peace with the Bulls winning this game tonight, when we all know I don't want them to. If Zach LaVine is the biggest and baddest reason for that Bulls victory tonight, I'll certainly feel better about it, because you're right. This would be the time for Zach to show up and have a game like that, especially if the focus defensively from Toronto is on DeMar, and Zach has those opportunities, seizes those opportunities, makes the most of them, instead of being the younger version of Zach, where maybe the try too much, the doing too much Zach that can happen, in big pressure situations late in close games. So I love Zach as a pick for an X factor in this game. I also see Connor, our guy in the comments, saying if Kobe scores 15 plus, we win the game. I think a lot of Bulls fans would also look at Kobe as a potential X factor in tonight's game.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to knock down shots.
Somebody got to score, man.
Somebody. Please.
Anybody. Put your hands up.
Would not be surprised if Kobe closes this game.
Yeah. I think you've started to see Billy Donovan have that level of trust in Kobe over the course of this season,
Definitely
because of the fact that he can knock down a shot and he's not a complete liability on defense anymore.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like, he might even be an X factor on the defensive side tonight.
Yeah.
We've seen Kobe White make those kind of plays down the stretch of this season.
Yeah.
Mine, gentlemen, it's simple. The answer was staring me in the face. My X factor tonight is Patrick Beverley.
It's about right.
Play in Patrick Beverley. The man who cried tears of joy from winning a play-in game and is known for his ability to come into a game and mess it up with his being Pat Bevness. Sometimes it works in his team's favor, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But with the stakes of tonight's game, we are getting over 100% of Patrick Beverley being Patrick Beverley.
Without a question. Like, he's going to be Patrick Beverley, period, point blank. And that's a great X factor right there, because that's all he ever really is.
Yeah.
When he's winning these games, is an X factor. You're thinking about the Minnesota game when he jumped on the table. He was the X factor of that game from the beginning to the end. He was the X factor of that game. So, yeah, it's what he knows. It's who he is all the time. And he said on his podcast, he's tired of talking. He's like, I'm locked in. I don't want to talk anymore. I just want to go play. I'm locked in. I'm so ready to go. So, no, you're absolutely right.
Great positional rebounder. And as we've been talking about, DeMar, Zach, Vooch are going to get a ton of attention. That's going to leave Beverley and Caruso open in the corners and on the baseline for cuts. He's got to hit his shots. Caruso's got to hit his shots. If they do that, I think the Bulls win.
I like it.
Shots.
Love Dave, shout out to him, saying, I want more Bulls basketball.
Yes.
The offseason is way too long. If
Way
they
too
lose
long.
tonight, no real Bulls basketball for 6 months.
Long ass time.
You know what we do get, though, if the Bulls lose tonight?
What?
Our stress gone. Well,
Your stress gun.
Well, yeah. And then watching good NBA playoff basketball for the next 2 whole months.
How do you know that?
I'm looking forward to that. How do I know that? Because that's
you
what
know that?
happens after this.
No, that's
after the
not true.
play-in tournament is the NBA playoffs.
All basketball is good after the play. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Yeah.
Says the man who said,
No, I'm saying them 1 through
via
8,
tweet
the 1 on
earlier
8
today,
ones were amazing.
I'm so excited to
Loved it.
watch playoff basketball.
I said postseason basketball. Get it right.
Okay.
I said I was excited to watch postseason basketball.
tomato,
sir.
tomato, it's a wazi, it's a woozy.
Apple and oranges, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, apples and tomatoes. Whole different thing. Playoffs ain't postseason. It's a different monster. Different monster.
Whatever.
Let's go.
I know you're excited to watch the NBA playoffs, whether or not the Bulls are there.
Oh, that's a fact.
Thank you. So why
Very
are you
excited to watch
arguing
it.
with me?
No, you said good playoff basketball. That's what you said. That's what I'm arguing with. It don't get good after a while. Some of that shit is trash. Some of that shit, guys gonna get swept. Get the fuck out of here.
Sherman said Matt needs to switch positions with that plant in the back. Get in the corner with your anti-Bull stuff. Look, Sherman, I appreciate that, and that's very funny. I have to represent that significant population among Bulls Nation who were disappointed by what we watched this season,
Sure.
who were ready to burn Chicago to the ground after there's some inexplicable and inexcusable losses throughout this season, and are more looking forward to substantial change being made, hoping for substantial change being made, and at the very damn least putting pressure on the people who run this organization to do that, because we will not accept mediocrity, which is what the own team's VP said to us at the beginning of the season and again when they did jack shit at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm. Now that
I am not the only person in Bulls Nation who feels that way, and thusly does not give a damn about them winning tonight's game.
Thusly.
Don't you come at me and replace me with a plant, goddammit.
Thusly. I mean, plant's a nice color.
People keep trying to give me plants to put in my house.
You don't want no plants in your house?
Big plant guy.
I'm a huge plant guy. I love plants, man. I got tons of plants in the house.
There's a tree off my balcony. I can reach out and wave at that or touch that if I want to.
Oh, wow.
I don't need a bunch of dead plants hanging around my living room.
Why would
Because they will quickly be dead plants, not alive plants.
Because you won't be watering them and taking care of them.
Who's got time to water plants?
You do. Of course you do. You can wake up with your 15 cups of coffee and put some water in there.
Gentlemen, our predictions for tonight's game before we get to tip off.
Yes.
I am not surprised by my pick because I made it.
Okay.
I'm not surprised by Mark's pick. You see, our shout out to our guy Kyle Williams, who is rocking with us sometimes. He also made a pick for tonight's game, which is right in line with where Mark and I are.
Yeah.
Raptors winning over the Bulls in a fairly low-scoring affair as far as this season's NBA scores are concerned. You two gentlemen went the other way and see a Bulls victory tonight.
I'm curious about Will, because Wills is the only one that doesn't have the other team scoring under 100. So I'm more curious about yours.
I mean, I think it's going to be close. I think like less than 200 combined points is like pretty irregular. I think it'll be like it'll get down to that point where it's probably in the like high 90s, low 100s, and then there'll be like the free throw game is kind of what I was thinking. Who knows about like the exact score, but I do feel like the Bulls are going to find a way to win this game. I think the Raptors are going to have a hard enough time scoring in the half court, especially down the stretch, that they're just not going to be able to pull out enough points to be able to pull this off. I do think that they will have enough in the way of transition baskets and offensive rebounding to keep it really close. But I just, for some reason, I'm going with my gut here against all logic. I think the Bulls win this game, and I think it's going to be very close, but I do think the Bulls will pull it out.
Hashtag gut over logic.
And Dave, you see a victory as well.
I do. I just, again, I go with my gut on everything. So that's just what it is. That's just what I felt. I felt they would win this game. I think their defense is going to cause havoc against them. And it's, again, you have to, as good as Toronto, and we talk about them, they're ninth for a reason. All right. It's not like we're playing this team and they're a 4 seed.
Right.
They're ninth for a reason. All right. So they have a shot at beating this squad, man. It's not like that we haven't seen them do it. They've been close games and things like that. But Toronto, you know what they've done well is offensive rebound against the Bulls and get those second opportunities. What they haven't done well is shoot against the Bulls. So I feel like the Bulls will do something about the rebounding and be able to get out and transition and score on them, when they're running. So that's kind of what I see.
And that is true and worth pointing out from like the Raptors' perspective of this. Bulls fans might be disappointed in the 40-42 record and maybe falling short of expectations. I had 42-40, so they fell short, not woefully short.
Right.
What I thought they were going to be before the season started.
Right.
People had the Raptors as a top 4 seed. Yeah. Some people in the East. Like when people were looking at their over-under win total set by Vegas, they were like, oh, that's an easy over.
That's true.
This Raptors season has been more disappointing to their fans and that organization probably than it has been for the Bulls and us. They might be ready to just be like, you know what? We're done. We're good. Yeah. People are already talking about this being it for Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
They're already talking about a coaching change in Toronto.
That's true.
Maybe the Raptors are ready to throw in the towel and just kind of 1, 2, 3 Cancun, much in the same way that Bulls fans fear the Bulls might be mental as far as like their headspace coming into this game. The Raptors could be right where the Bulls are.
That's true, man. They got again, they're 9 for a reason. That's all I keep saying. So let's just see how it plays out on this one.
I think also like the things that they do well, the Bulls are clearly going to have a game plan against, and if they can box out, it's going to just be really tough for the Raptors to score. True. Like they basically have to hack their way into points because of how slow and inefficient their half-court offense is. So the Bulls just keep them off the glass. The only way they're going to be able to score is in transition and off of steals. If you take care of the basketball and rebound, I just don't see how the Bulls lose this game.
There it is. There it is. Hey, half-naked Cody in the house.
Hey.
What up?
Shout out to our GM at CHGO, Jake, who's in the comments saying, because why wouldn't this Bulls team put it all together and start winning now? Makes total sense. Anytime you think you got this Bulls team figured out, they do exactly the opposite of what you expect them to do.
That's a fact. That's what they do.
That's
So,
actually
you know
my
what?
mentality here.
Scratch my score prediction. Bulls are winning this, guys.
Bulls in
Totally.
one.
nobody
They're
believes
totally
you. Like I
winning
told you, the
this.
car's gone, man. Nobody believes you. We out.
Oh, I'm not trying to get in. I'm just trying to give it false directions on purpose. We are just after 6 o'clock Chicago time. That means tip-off is right around the corner. Enjoy the game, regardless of what you're rooting for, and regardless of the outcome. We will be here for a live CHGO Bulls post-game.
That's a fact.
After this one ends.
Yeah.
What we talk about will largely depend on what happens the next 2 hours and change.
Hey, man.
We will see you then either way. Until then, this has been CHGO Bulls pregame presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Get those parlays in. We will talk to you at pregame. For Joey, Will, Big Dave, Peck, what time is it?
Game time. Ooh.
Come on, Raps.